Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a Yamaha PT-4 tuning scope. It is absolutely amazing. It's made with quite thick aluminium casing, a tiny little scope CRT. And it's really, really heavy. 2.2 kilos for this tiny little size. And I'm just really, really happy this one came into my lab the other day. So thanks again a gazillion million times for helping my YouTube channel with absolutely fun and special items. We can see here we go. Here is the little name plate tuning scope and the volts. Is that, what is it? It's 240 serial. No, really difficult to, okay, here we go. 1514 Nippon in Japan. Of course. And that will be the mains connector. I even got the mains cable for this one, the microphone, the original microphone for this one. I don't know if there's, I think it is definitely that one. So there's a little connector here, and this, yes, definitely there's a connector on the side. I haven't yet figured out what is this doing. There's a little adjustment screw and whatnot. I was told the idea is you can use this to tune pianos. So you can set up the different notes and the octaves here, and then the idea is you can tune how sharp or how flat, so how aggressive is the filter, and then it will somehow show something on the display. I'm sorry I don't have any bananas for scale, but maybe we should try and measure the CRT. So this is including connectors and everything. And the CRT stops about here. So it's only 12 centimeters, the entire CRT. It's really, really cute. And oh, it's just full of loose wires hanging all over the place, and capacitors there, and a lot of adjustments and stuff. And here we got a little variable capacitor, all those capacitors, much more capacitors. And again, it's just full of capacitors, switching. And down here we got some inductors, and up here tons of inductors. So it's of course full of oscillators, right? So you will mix some oscillators and then you will generate the output, I think. Wow, what a beautiful unit. Oh, here we can even see the CRT a little bit better. Wow, we got more trimmers here at the back. I really hope to figure out how old this is. Maybe there's a date code on some of the little transistors or something. Maybe I can try and look this up somehow. Maybe I can find a manual even. Tuning scope. So there's some numbers here on the circuit board. But it's really, really heavy. Of course, all this is steel. It's really thick as well. Look at that. Yeah, there's no flimsy mechanics. Everything is rock solid. I'm amazed about this quality. I started to Google a little bit around about this unit, and look what I find. So here is another one, and it's looking really, really nice and shiny compared to mine. I got a little bit of problems with the logo at the front and all that. But this one is $106 plus shipping and all that. And I find another one. It's also looking pretty good from the pictures, but this one was, of course, sold for $170. Wow, that is amazing. I tried to figure out exactly when this unit was released, and the internet seems to be telling me mid-1970s to early 1980s, and there's actually a little bit of a follow-up information about this. I was able to find a manual for this fantastic scope at one of those annoying pay-to-download sites. And then I complained to one of my friends, and he found exactly the same manual at a free Polish site. So how cool is that? So here it is, the manual with all the fantastic details. And I learned we got some trimmers at the back for brightness and focus and all those kinds of things. And we can read about how to adjust the different frequency settings. It's, of course, a lot of text to sit here and read. I don't really want to do that, but you can just hit pause and then zoom in and read all the text if you want to do that. Otherwise, it was not impossible to find the manual for free, of course. So let's dial in here to the setup of the different frequencies. I think this is a little bit interesting. It says here about the piano tuning table where you set up all the different notes and stuff like that. And this is, of course, to synchronize the internal oscillators for the incoming frequencies. And here is a block diagram. I'm sorry, it's a little bit small, but I think it is possible to zoom in on this. And then we can, of course, see we got the different transistor stages and oscillators you can enable and disable and all that. I think maybe it's better to see this here on the schematic. We can, in the middle, to the little bit to the left, we can see 3 oscillator setups. We can see some different transistors that's used to enable the different oscillators instead of changing the main frequency ranges or using resistors and capacitors and all that. They simply select which of the oscillators to enable. I think that is probably a little bit more accurate. And of course, this unit is designed to be very, very accurate. And this is probably also why you have all those many transistors. It's really, really packed. I am a little bit impressed. I gotta say that. And here on the last page of the manual, we find all the component placement informations, a little bit of wires going left and right into this and that. And it's just, really well designed. So as always, let's do the first power up together. So let's see, we got mains applied and it's using 11, 10, 9 watts. I was hoping, well, let's get the microphone here and see if there's any, hello. I would expect in a few minutes we will have a CRT warm up, and maybe you need, yeah, look at that. Let's dim the light a little bit more. Why is it doing that? Hello, boba hooba. Yeah, that is weird. This is not exactly what I expected. So what have we here? So, aha, it's all about putting the, I need to play with this a little bit, I see. I would expect something completely different. Hello? Yeah. This is really funny. I think I figured out how this works. So let me try and dim the light a little bit more. So we'll probably get this. So it's actually sweeping, and you can see this line here is standing a little bit still. So this is a 441 Hertz. It's set for A, and this is in 0 and this is in 0. I think this has something to do with the accuracy. So if I play with the frequency, see, this is 440 exactly, and now it's floating. 41 and 42. 442 Hertz, and then it goes a little bit to the right. So this way you tune it so it's standing completely still. That is at least the idea as far as I understand. And if you change the octaves, this has of course something to do with scanning frequency. See, you can get more or less of them. So here's now 1. So this will of course give us a lot higher resolution. Yeah, look at that. Now I am at 440.9. Hey, yeah, okay, I also have the microphone still making some noise. Let's turn this off. But anyway, that is more or less how it works. Oh, this, it's really dim. I gotta say that. It's almost, hello, almost invisible when there is no noise. Maybe I can adjust something to give it a little bit more brightness. So I think that is more or less all I wanted to say about this fantastic unit. So, whoa. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. Bye.